बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Hello, Assalamualaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Kinza, how are you?
I'm good as well. Sorry for being late. Actually, I was having some internet issues, and after that, charging cell phone की थोड़ी सी कम है. So that is why I got late.
Okay, no problem. Let's continue. आपने कल कुछ प्रैक्टिस किया था, सम्स वगैरह देखे थे?
Yes, I have practice and look go through की तो फिर ये कि कुछ चीजें मतलब ये कि absorb की.
Okay, so let us continue now. जहाँ हमने कल छोड़ा था. So we stopped at FIFO and weighted average. ठीक है, FIFO हम दोबारा से समझेंगे, weighted average भी समझेंगे. All right, हम यहाँ तक क्या क्या कर चुके थे? हम प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग में आउटपुट को फाइंड आउट करना, लॉसेस को फाइंड आउट करना, मोर ओवर लॉसेस विद स्क्रैप वैल्यू एंड लॉसेस विद डिस्पोजल कॉस्ट, ये चारों चीजें हम कर चुके थे. और अब हम नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे जा भी चुके थे, थोड़ा सा किया भी था, मगर अब आज हम फ्रेश करेंगे इसको. वैल्यूइंग ओपनिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस यूजिंग फीफो मेथड. ओपनिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस यानी यहां तक हमारे पास सिर्फ क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री था, क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस के सवालात थे. ओपनिंग यहाँ पे क्या था? नील था, जीरो था, इसलिए हमें कोई मसले मसाइल नहीं हुए. मगर अब प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग में हमें ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री भी गिवन होगी, तो अब उसकी दो तरह से ट्रीटमेंट हो सकती है. नंबर वन फीफो के जरिए, नंबर टू वेटेड एवरेज कॉस्ट मेथड के जरिए. अच्छा, फीफो के जरिए कैसे करेंगे, क्या करेंगे? तो हम डायरेक्टली सम पे आ रहे हैं और सम को देखते हुए हम समझेंगे कि फीफो कैसे किया जा रहा है. यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो सम है उसमें ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री 500 यूनिट्स गिवन है, जो कंप्लीट कितनी है? 60% कंप्लीट है. ये कब कंप्लीट हुई? ये कब किंजा ये कब कंप्लीट हुई? ये 500 यूनिट्स जो ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री के थे, ये 60% कंप्लीट है. ये कब कंप्लीट हुए? Hello, Kinza, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, तो सवाल ये है कि 500 यूनिट्स 60% कंप्लीट है, ये कब कंप्लीट हुए? They got complete in the previous period. Okay, previous period. ये previous period या previous process के लिए यकीनन क्या हुए होंगे? क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री. फॉर व्हाट? फॉर प्रीवियस पीरियड. ठीक है, तो प्रीवियस पीरियड की जब ये क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री थी तो वहां पे उनकी कंप्लीशन 60% दिखाई गई. लिहाजा वही क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री अब करंट पीरियड के लिए यानी नेक्स्ट पीरियड के लिए विच इज 2002 ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री बन गए. डू यू अग्री?
Yes.
यस. सो अब इसकी कंप्लीशन यानी कि इसकी कंप्लीशन में कुछ खर्चा आया होगा, तो वो खर्चा कॉस्ट टू डेट क्या है? 2800. वो खर्चा इसको कंप्लीट करने का 60% कंप्लीट करने का जो खर्चा आया वो $2800 है. यहां तक बात क्लियर है?
मैं साहब की आवाज बीच बीच में बहुत कट रही है, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया.
ओके डियर, आप अपने साइट का इंटरनेट चेक कर लो प्लीज. एंड अभी मैं फ्लो में कंटिन्यू करूंगी, जो नहीं बीच में मिस हो रहा होगा तो फिर आप रिकॉर्डिंग में देख लीजिएगा. वैसे हम जब एंड तक पहुंचेंगे तब दोबारा एक रिपीट कर दूंगी, समराइज कर देंगे, ठीक है जी। अच्छा, सो कॉस्ट इनकर्ड इन अगस्त 2002, यहाँ तक क्या डेट आ रही है? यहाँ तक हमें पुरानी कहानी बताई जा रही है, जो कि जाहिर है प्रीवियस पीरियड के लिए क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री रहा होगा, और इसकी जो कंप्लीशन में खर्चा आया वो 2800 आया। अब कॉस्ट इनकर्ड इन अगस्त 2002, यानी इन दिस करंट पीरियड अब क्या क्या हुआ? क्या क्या हुआ? डायरेक्ट मटेरियल्स खरीदे गए, कितने खरीदे गए? 2500 यूनिट्स। कितने के खरीदे गए? $13,200। डायरेक्ट लेबर कितने का आया? $6,600। प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड कितने का आया? $6,600। इन सब का टोटल किया तो टोटल खर्चा जो प्रोडक्शन में आ रहा है या प्रोडक्ट बनाने में आ रहा है वो 26,400 आ रहा है। ठीक, उसके बाद हमारे पास जो क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री बच रही है वो 300 यूनिट्स बच रही है, जिसकी डिग्री ऑफ कंप्लीशन 80% है, एंड देयर वाज नो लॉस इन द प्रोसेस। रिक्वायरमेंट हमें कह रही है प्रिपेयर द प्रोसेस वन अकाउंट फॉर अगस्त 2002। तो प्रोसेस वन अकाउंट हमें बनाना है 2002 के लिए, जिसके लिए हमें लिहाजा पूरा स्टेप फॉलो करना पड़ेगा प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग का, जैसे हम करते आए हैं, स्टेप 1, स्टेप 2, स्टेप 3, स्टेप 4। अब जहाँ पे वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस शामिल है तो वहां पे हम कौन से स्टेप्स करेंगे? जैसे हमने सीखा था स्टेटमेंट, स्टेप 1 हमारा क्या होगा? स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स, ये हमारा पहला स्टेप होगा, ठीक है, जिसमें हम इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स निकालेंगे। अब इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स कैसे निकालें, तो आइए देखते हैं। अब ये आपके सामने क्या आ गया? स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स। कैसे निकाला है हमने, जरा देखते हैं। टोटल यूनिट्स यहाँ लिखेंगे, इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स यहाँ लिखेंगे। ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री में हमारे पास कितने यूनिट्स थे? 500। इन दिस करंट पीरियड, ये स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स किसके हैं? करंट पीरियड के। तो करंट पीरियड में ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री 500 यूनिट्स हमें इस पीरियड में 40% कंप्लीट करना पड़ेगा, यस और नो?
Yes.
तो हमने 40% मल्टीप्लाई बाय 500 किया, हमारे पास 200 आया इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स। फिर इस पीरियड में हमने कुछ मुकम्मल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए, मुकम्मल, तो वो कितने थे? वो 2200 थे, और जिनकी कंप्लीशन 100% थी, देयरफॉर 2200। अच्छा, अब आप ये कहेंगे कि मैम ये 2200 कहाँ से आया? तो हम यहाँ ऊपर जाएंगे और हम अपने डेटा में देखेंगे कि क्या हमें सवाल में डेटा में गिवन है या नहीं गिवन। तो हमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2500 यूनिट्स हमने मजीद खरीदे हैं, ठीक है, और जिसमें से हमारा क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री बच रहा है 300। तो मुकम्मल यूनिट्स जो बन गए होंगे वो कितने होंगे? 2500 माइनस 300, विच मीन्स 2200। ये मुकम्मल हो गए होंगे, यस और नो?
Yes.
अग्री टिल हियर?
Yes.
यस। तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास वही 2200 यूनिट्स लिखे, fully worked units. Now this will become output to process 2, 2200 plus 500 which gives us 2700, and equivalent units की बात की जाए it is 2400 units, ठीक है, ये हमारा output आया which is ready to be sent to process 2. बट व्हाट अबाउट द क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री? क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री को भी तो हमें कंसिडर करना है। तो क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री हमें जो गिवन है वो 300 गिवन है, और जिसके बारे में हमें क्वेश्चन बता रहा है कि 80% कंप्लीट हुई है। तो 80% ऑफ 300 इज 240. So now the equivalent units which we are getting is 2640, and over here the total units which were there 3000 units. Is this step clear?
Yeah, a bit.
Okay. Now we are moving on to the next step. In the next step is cost per unit of output and losses. We have to find that out. How are we going to find it? Simple. Cost incurred divided by equivalent units. So what is the cost incurred? The sum has already given it to us, 26,400. Okay, this is the cost incurred. And let's see what have they taken. 26,400. Have they taken the same thing? Yes. Okay, 26,400. Now this cost is being divided by the equivalent units, 2640. And therefore you get $10, which is cost per equivalent unit. Now, moving on to step 3, we need to find the total cost of output, losses, and work in progress. So in order to find the total cost, what are we going to do? We are again going to take opening inventory, fully worked units, plus closing inventory. All these three will be involved in calculating or in finding out the total cost. So for opening inventory, it is 200 equivalent units, and the cost as per this, you multiply 200 by 10, you get $2,000. For fully worked units, 2,200 units multiplied by 10, you get $22,000. Closing inventory, 240 units multiplied by 10, you get $2,400. And this is how you get the total cost. Then what are they saying? The total value of the completed opening inventory will be 2,800. Okay, that's the total value. Now we have to find out, if the question is asking you to find out the total value of the entire inventory right now present in your warehouse, it means you're also going to calculate the brought forward amount of 2,800, which is or which has been completed in the previous period. ये वो अमाउंट है जो प्रीवियस पीरियड में इनकर हुई थी और प्रीवियस पीरियड में ये खर्चा हुआ था, ठीक है। मगर अभी इस खर्चे को हमें ब्रॉड फॉरवर्ड क्यों करना पड़ा? बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स इट वाज वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस, 80% was a percentage of it was complete and a percentage of it was incomplete. So जो completed हिस्सा है, अगर तो क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछ रहा है कि भैया टोटल वैल्यू बताओ ऑफ इन्वेंट्री विच इज करंटली प्रेजेंट इन योर स्टॉक, अभी जो आपके पास वेयरहाउस में रखा है, तो जो वेयरहाउस में रखा है उसमें तो पुरानी ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री भी है जो पिछले पीरियड से इधर ब्रॉड फॉरवर्ड हुई है, विच कॉस्ट 2,800, तो इसको भी फिर शामिल करना पड़ेगा। प्लस और किसको शामिल करना पड़ेगा? 2,000 एडेड इन ऑगस्ट बिफोर कंप्लीशन, तो 2,800 plus 2,000 will give you 4,800. This step will only be done if the question is asking you to do it. Okay, otherwise this is what we need to do. And then finally the complete accounts. Complete accounts, again, debit all input, credit all output. And what things are there? Opening inventory is here, direct material is here, direct labor is here, production overhead is here. And this all amount is given in the question. It's already given in the question, just directly bring it over here. Then over here, what you're going to write, output to process to opening inventory, you're going to write 4,800, which you have calculated. Fully worked units, 22,000, which you have calculated. Then closing inventory 300 and the value is 2,400, which you have calculated. So this way you get what? You will be getting 29,200 over here, 29,200 over here. We now know that the value of X, 4,800 minus 2,800, is equal to $2,000 and the value of Y is $22,000. Okay, now this statement has been used basically for the equation that we were trying to do. Okay, this equation thing. Okay, but without this equation, it is simple as it is a straightforward sum. So there are two ways of doing it. You can either use this method or you can either go for the direct method. Why to complicate yourself when you can use the direct method? It is as simple and straightforward. Okay, is this making sense till here?
या एक्चुअली ऊपर के स्टेप्स क्लियर नहीं है, तो थोड़ा बहुत कंफ्यूजन है, बट आई थिंक आगे क्लियर हो जाएगा
जी. When you will sit and do the sum na, then inshallah it will get clear more and more. Okay, so okay, we have this sum right in front of us. I would like you to try this out. Or have we tried this out yesterday? Did we try the sum out yesterday? Okay, you have 2 minutes to solve this sum.
ओके
Yes.
In this question I guess P4 है तो first in first out होगा, तो 7000 जो हमारे यूनिट्स हैं उसमें से हम ओपनिंग वाले हम सबट्रैक्ट करेंगे तो आई गेस 5000 होगा. आई एम नॉट कंफर्म.
I don't know, you do it.
या आई एम नॉट कंफर्म कि 5000 है बट शायद हो.
Okay, so you are saying it's 5,000. Okay, let's explore. We have opening work in progress 2000 units, 60% complete. So what is the equivalent units of opening work in progress? 60% of 2000 is?
Can you please repeat?
See, whenever you get this type of sum and you're being asked how many units, the first step you have to follow as it is, statement of equivalent units. Why you have to find this out? You have to find this out because work in progress is involved. Work in progress means that this is not complete. It is still under the process. So you need to, and it becomes a compulsion to find the equivalent units, or else how exactly you will tell that how many units were started and completed during the period, right? So what is the equivalent units for opening work in progress?
60% complete है.
Yeah, so you calculate it and tell me.
$1200 होगा.
Okay. 40% of 1500 is?
$600.
Okay. So now what we need to do, we need to find out that how many units were started and completed during the period. So total output they are saying which needs to be transferred to the next process is 7,000 units. Okay, 7,000 units needs to be transferred in the next process. So for that, you need to be manufacturing that amount of units. So what have they done? They have less the opening work in progress 2000 units, which gives you 5,000 units. And the closing work in progress is 1500 units. So you can just directly find it out by subtracting 7,000 by 2000 and you will get your 5,000, and that's the answer. Now your question would be that, ma'am, but over here we just calculated this. So what was the point of calculating this? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask.
Yes. So what was the point of calculating this? See, whenever you go and sit in the exam, your mind will work as you have been taught in the class, right? So your mind will work over that, okay, 60% is given, 40% is given, and you will quickly calculate it, okay, statement of equivalent units, let's calculate it. Okay, but you have to focus on what the question is asking, okay, and you have to see that how many units were started and completed during the period, which can be done directly without finding this out. So that's why I made you do it, so that you keep this in mind that though this is the step, there can be a sum which may come like this, in which you have to just find out directly and you can easily find it out. Total output, U less opening work in progress. These are the number of units which are started and completed during the period. Simple. Okay. Let's move
Okay.
to the next question. This is our next question, which we were trying out yesterday. So let's try this out once again. Would you like to try this out once again, or shall we just discuss the solution?
I think I need some explanation.
Okay. So here we have a sum, okay? And the sum says the following information relates to process 3 of a 3-stage production process for the month of January 2004. Opening inventory. Opening inventory details have been given here. 300 units are complete as to material With respect to material, it is 100% complete. With respect to added material, it is 90% complete. With respect to labor, it is 80% complete. And with respect to production overhead, it is 80% complete. And the cost have been given here. Simple. Next, in January 2004, a further 1,800 units were transferred from process 2 at a valuation of $27,000. Added materials amounted to $6,600 and direct labor was $3,270. Production overhead is absorbed at the rate of 150% of direct labor cost. Closing inventory data is given over here, okay, and the closing inventory is 450 units. But I want you to list this down first, and this data is the middle data which has been introduced as in the production, and it has been introduced again with respect to these 1, 2, 3, 4, these four heads. So for material, it is $27,000. For added material, it is 6,600. For direct labor, it is 3,270. And for production overhead, it is 150%.
150% of direct labor cost.
Calculate it and tell me the answer.
Okay.
Come on, what are you getting? 150% of 3,270 is?
Just a minute.
It is 4,905. What happened? It took so long. Okay. So
I know, I'm just confused.
why confused? You just need to find out 150% of 3,270. Just multiply these two. You will get 4,905. That is your production overhead. Okay.
Okay.
So this is your center part. This is your opening inventory details. This is your production details, and this is your closing inventory details. Okay. The 450 units is your closing inventory. Now let's see how it's going to be done. Simple. We are going to follow the steps. First step, statement of equivalent units. You find out how many heads you have. You have 3 heads, right? Or maybe you have how many heads over here? Process to added material, labor and overhead. 3 basic heads, okay? 3, it has been divided into 3 basic heads. So here you do the same way. Materials, added materials, conversion cost, or you can say that production overhead. It's the same thing. Now, first opening inventory, 300 units. 0 for process 2, materials. Why 0 over here? What has been written? For opening inventory, it is 100% complete with respect to materials. With respect to added materials, it is 90% complete. With respect to labor and overhead, it is 80% complete. So let's see. Now over here, you can see a difference that over here they have not taken 100%. In fact, they have just written 0. And over here, they have not taken 90%, but they have written 10%, and they have 10% of 300 is 30. And over here, they have not taken 80%, but rather the remaining percentage they have taken, which is 20%, and that is 60. Why is this so?
Yeah.
Why is this so? Because we are learning how to solve opening inventory, how to deal with opening inventory. Opening inventory will be dealt like this. Why? Because we understood that this opening inventory is actually the closing inventory of the previous period. Yes or no? And therefore, it has been completed.
Yes.
Cost has been incurred in the previous period already. So the previous period cost will not be incorporated into the current period. That is but obvious. Why will we take the cost 2 times? In the previous period and in the current period as well? No, that will go wrong. That will be doubling. So what will we take? We will only consider the remaining units which needs to be produced now. Okay, so the remaining units are, for material it is 0 because 100% has been completed in the previous period. For added materials it is 10% left, so 10% of 300 is 30. For conversion cost it is 20% left, so 20% of 30 is 60. I hope the opening inventory is clear now, how it's going to be dealt.
Yeah.
Next, we have with us fully worked units. Fully worked units, how many units have been produced in this particular period, started and completed both. So it's written 1350. How did we calculate this? Let's go to the star mark and see that how was this calculated. This was a transfer from process 2 minus closing inventory. Transfer from process 2, where is the detail? So here we have 1800 units were transferred from process 2, and this has been subtracted by closing inventory. So 1800 minus the closing inventory is 450. So what do you get? 1800 minus 450, how much is the answer? 1350, right? So this 1350 are your total number of units produced and completed in this particular period. And they are complete with all respect. They are complete with respect to material, with respect to added material, with respect to conversion cost, they are complete. Output to finished goods, therefore we have 1650 over here 1350, over here 1380, over here 1410. And finally, we have closing inventory, which is 450 units. And we have been given the data about closing inventory that it is 100% complete with respect to material, 60% complete with respect to added material, and 50% complete with respect to labor and overhead. So that's what has been done over here. 100% complete with respect to material, 60% complete with respect to added material, and 50% complete with respect to conversion cost. Now you will see that this is the difference between dealing with closing inventory and the opening inventory. We are dealing with the closing inventory as we have dealt in all the above sums. Same, nothing has changed. What has changed? Opening inventory. How? You have seen it. Why? We know it and we have discussed it. Okay. Now,
Okay.
moving on to the second step, statements of cost per equivalent unit. We need to find cost per unit. How to do that? Process to material, $27,000. Equivalent units, 1800 units. How? We have taken out over here. ठीक है, ये चीज यहाँ पे आ गई. Then added materials, 1650 units. This over here. Direct labor and this 1635 units. Okay. So here we have got, and what about the cost? From where are we getting the cost? So we are getting the cost because the cost has already been given to us, right? 4,400, 1150, 548, 10. So that's what we have taken over here. This cost was for the opening inventory. This cost, yeah, this cost has been taken. Okay, so here it is 27,000, 6,600, 3,270, 4,905. Now you divide these two, and what will you get? You will get these amounts, cost per unit. And this is what we are supposed to find in step 2. Okay, and the finally statement of evaluation in the step 3, it is basically they are trying to find out the total cost of each and everything. So the total cost, how are they finding out? You can see it over here. For opening inventory, it is 4,400. This is brought forward balance. And for the new, it is 1,150. For labor, it is 540. For overhead, it is 810. These cost has been given over here already. This. Okay. So from here, we have taken it and placed it over here. 4,400, 1,150, 540, 810. Then added in January, what has been added? The remaining materials have been made. So 30 multiplied by 4. From where we have taken this 4? From here. From where have we taken the 30? The 30 has been taken from the first. And the first step is over here. This 30. Okay. And this 60. So it has been taken over here. 60, 60. Then fully worked units, 5,400, 2,700, 4,050. Okay. And then finally the finished goods, that is 6,670, 3,360, 5,040. Closing inventory, we already have 450 multiplied by 15. Okay, this 15 has been taken for material. Okay, and then for 270 multiplied by 4, this 4 has been taken. 225 multiplied by 2, this 2 has been taken. 225 multiplied by 3, this 3 has been taken. All right, right now I can understand you might be getting confused, but it's okay.
Yeah.
When you will start solving the sum, everything will fall into place. Everything will fall into place, believe me.
Also, inshallah.
Complete accounts, simple. Over here, all the input, over here, all the output. How it is done, you can see and you will understand it. Okay. So I hope it's better than yesterday. But yes, I have already told you earlier that process costing is one of the difficult topics of F2, and it will take time for you to understand it and to get hold of it. And it only comes with practice. When you will solve the sum at home, in case you have any kind of query, you may ask, and then gradually you will understand where, why, how, what's happening. Okay, Ji. Why are we doing such a long sum despite of the fact that we know that only 2 marks question is going to come? It's going to be small, not so long. Why do we need to do such a complicated thing? Yes, you need to do such a complicated thing because unless you understand this complicated thing, you might get a 2 mark sum which may ask you that, okay, tell us this figure is missing, question mark. Then how are you going to do that? Right? So you need to know the full big picture in order to get the chunks, in order to understand from the middle. Okay, we have over here a sum. Try this out. See whether you can do it.
Okay.
You have 2 minutes. Right. So yes, Kendra.
Just a minute, I'm almost done. मेरा तो आंसर इसमें है ही नहीं.
Okay, let's see. Answering.
I don't know what I've done.
Okay, that's good. At least you have tried, you have attempted it. This is known as brainstorming. Okay, so that's 58,600. How do we get this? Opening work in progress, we need to find, first of all, equivalent units with regard to conversion cost. So, been given the information that opening work in progress is 100% complete with regard to input material and 70% complete with regard to conversion. And the question is
Yeah.
asked to us that what was the number of equivalent units with regard to conversion cost. Now over here, our silly mistake which we could have done is this, that 70% we are multiplying it by 2000, which is wrong. Why this is wrong? Because this is opening inventory, not closing inventory. For opening inventory, we are not going to take 70%, we are going to take 30%, as we have learned in our earlier sum. That this 70% is already been completed in the previous period and therefore will not be incorporated in the current period. So we will take 30%.
Yeah, I've done mistake in this 50,000 something. मेरा 53 आ रहा है. Yeah, 50 है.
Okay. Then closing work in progress, what we have 80% of 10,000, which is correct. We will take it as it is. Okay. And this comes to 600, this comes to 8,000. And then the unit started and completed, we will simply take opening plus input minus closing. So what is opening? Opening is 2,000. What is input? Input is 60,000. And what is the closing? Minus closing work in progress is 10,000. And then again, we are going to minus the opening work in progress. Why we are going to do that? Because over here, the work in progress has been added. So we need to deduct it full and final. So just calculate this. How much are you getting? 2,000.
So I have taken opening work in progress as वो मैंने लिया 3,000 ले लिया.
Opening work in progress, you took this as the thing, right?
Yes.
That's not right. So
उसके बाद फिर ये जो end वाली subtraction है opening work in progress जो again किया है मैंने वो किया ही नहीं है.
नहीं, अगर आप एंड वाला ना भी करो तो सिंपली अगर आप इनपुट और क्लोजिंग को कर लो तो भी, जैसे हमने एक छोटा सा सम किया था तो उसमें यही किया था कि इनपुट या आउटपुट लिया था और लेस क्लोजिंग कर लिया था. So we got the unit started and completed in the current period. Yes, because this is the same thing. You either deduct this over here again or you don't consider this only at all.
तो ये दो मर्तबा subtraction नहीं हुई है इसमें, एक ही बार हुई है.
ये निल हो गया है. ओपनिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस इन्होंने कंसिडर ही नहीं किया, इग्नोर किया. ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगर आप प्लस लेते हो और यहाँ पे माइनस लेते हो तो दोनों आपस में कैंसिल आउट हो जाता है, इसका कोई इफेक्ट नहीं है. असल रहती है वो इनपुट माइनस क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस, जो कि अभी एक्सक्यूज मी, हमने थोड़ी देर पहले सम में किया, जो आपने बिल्कुल सही कैलकुलेट किया था. ये वाला सम, ये क्या किया हमने इसमें? Unit started and completed during the period, right? How we did this? Total output minus opening work in progress. यहाँ पे opening work in progress था इसलिए हमने वो डिडक्ट किया. अगर हमारे पास closing होता तो हम closing डिडक्ट करते. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आउटपुट है तो आउटपुट से क्या डिडक्ट हो रहा है? ओपनिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस डिडक्ट हो रहा है. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे इनपुट है, यहाँ पे क्या है? यहाँ पे इनपुट है, तो इनपुट से क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस डिडक्ट हो रहा है. आंसर हमें क्या मिल रहा है, वही मिल रहा है। तो नाउ ओवर हियर यू हैव,
लेकिन ये हमने 2 मर्तबा लिया क्यों है? मतलब ओपनिंग वीआईपी फिर दोबारा माइनस में भी वही चीज दी है।
पूछना पड़ेगा बीपीपी वालों से क्यों लिया दो दो। ठीक है जी। तो अब आपके पास ये दो फॉर्मूलाज आ गए कि अगर इनपुट गिवन है तो इनपुट माइनस क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस अगर आप करोगे तो ये आंसर आएगा, और अगर आपके पास आउटपुट गिवन है तो आउटपुट माइनस ओपनिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस करोगे तो भी आपके पास ये आंसर आएगा, unit started and completed. So there are two ways to find out unit started and completed. ठीक है जी। तो ये आपके पास 50,000 आ गए। फिर आपने इसको एज इट इज कैलकुलेट कर लिया, टोटल कर लिया, you get 58,600. Please ensure that you do not forget that we need to take 30% instead of 70% opening work in progress.
या एक मिनट,
चलो
इसमें ये चीज हमेशा ऐसी रहेगी कि ओपनिंग में हमें जो है वो बाकी बची हुई अमाउंट लेनी है एंड क्लोजिंग में हमें एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट लेनी है जो क्वेश्चन में दी हुई होगी,
yes,
कंप्लीट अमाउंट होगी।
yes.
ओके
Okay, so this is how you value your opening work in progress in FIFO method, and we are done with it. Okay, now we are going on to the weighted average method. What are we going to do in this method? Let's see. Now over here you will see that it's a similar sum like we have done it earlier. Magpie produces an item which is manufactured in 2 consecutive processes. Information relating to process 2 during September 2003 is as follows. Opening inventory 800 units, degree of completion has been given, okay, cost has been given. During September 2003, 3,000 units were transferred from process 1 at valuation 18,100. Added material 9,600. So again, you have to just write it like material which has been transferred 18,100. Added material, it is 9,600. And then conversion cost, it is 11,800. Okay. Then closing inventory is amounted to 1,000 units. Closing inventory, 1,000 units. Were 100% complete with respect to process 1 material, 60% complete with respect to added material, and conversion cost 40% complete. So 100% complete, 60% complete, and 40% complete. Okay, this is for material, this is for added material, this is for conversion cost. Now we have written the data, we have the data in front of us, what we need to do. Magpie uses weighted average cost system for the valuation of output and closing inventory. All right. So now what needs to be done? Let's see. Let's find out. Step 1, same statement of equivalent units. But what will be the difference? So they are saying that opening inventory units count as a full equivalent unit of production when the weighted average cost system is applied. Point to be noted. Closing inventory equivalent units are assessed in the usual way. So there is no change in calculating closing inventory. It will be calculated as it is, as we have been doing earlier. There is a slight change in how we calculate opening inventory. It is just that we will be taking full equivalent unit of production. Now, what does this mean? Let's just look into the sum, jump into the sum and see. Okay. So here we go. So as you can see over here, that opening inventory, 800 units, 100% with respect to process 1 material. And what have they done? The sum is telling us that 40% complete with respect to added material, 30% complete with respect to conversion cost. In the FIFO method, what we were doing, we were not taking this, but we were taking 60% instead, and we were taking 70% instead. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. But over here, what have they done? They have taken complete 100%. No change.
Why?
Because this is weighted average, and that's how they solve it. That's the rule. That's what they've taken. Okay. Whereas the fully worked units will be done as it is, as we do it in the other sums. Closing inventory, we have done the same way as we do it in the previous sums. Okay, as we have done it in the previous sums, no other change except for this. Okay, no other change except for this. Now, in the last statement, they are saying something. What are they saying? 3,000
Opening inventory हर question में 100% होगी.
Yes, weighted average में only in weighted average. Okay.
Okay.
This is the rule. That's what they have written over here. Opening inventory units count as full equivalent unit of production. Full means 100%. ठीक है. फिर क्या कह रहे हैं? 3,000 units from process 1 minus closing inventory of 1,000 units will give us what? What will it give us? This will give us this fully worked units, 2,000. And we have done the formula of finding out the fully worked units. There are two formulas. I hope, Kinza, you have noted it down with you. When you have been given the output, you minus opening work in progress, you get this. And when you have input, you minus closing work in progress, you again get this. So that has been calculated the same way over here, 2,000. And then closing inventory as it is. Now we jump on to the step 2. In the step 2, what we need to find out? We need to find out the cost per equivalent unit. Now, cost per equivalent unit, how are you going to do? You're going to write down the costs. Costs are right in front of you. These are the costs. Okay, these are the costs. Sorry. These are the costs. Then, so opening inventory, 4,700, 600, 1,000. Added in September, 18,100, 9,600, 11,800. This all has been taken from the sum. And that there you go, you get the total cost. You have the equivalent units from here. You solved it already. The equivalent units. Okay. These are the equivalent units.
I guess this one is easy as compared to FIFO.
नो बेटा, अब फीफो समझ लिया ना, उसको समझने में बहुत मुश्किल लगा, तो अब ये समझने में आसान हो रहे हैं. वो 2 दफा हम कर चुके हैं, तब जाके कुछ दिमाग में घुसे है. फिर अब हम पैटर्न तो सेम ही है ना, पैटर्न तो सेम ही है. जो वहां कर रहे हैं वो यहाँ कर रहे हैं, सेम टू सेम वही चीज चल रही है. सिर्फ फर्क क्या है कि यहाँ पे हम 100% कर दे रहे हैं. दैट्स इट. इसके अलावा तो और कोई फर्क नहीं. सारी चीजें अब ये हम तकरीबन ये चौथी दफा अब हम समझ रहे हैं, तो अब चीजें थोड़ी समझ आ रही है. ठीक है जी. सो ये कॉस्ट पर इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट आ गया, कॉस्ट पर इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट आ गया. देन स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन. स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इवैल्यूएशन का क्या मतलब है? टोटल कॉस्ट फाइंड आउट करना. टोटल कॉस्ट फाइंड आउट करना, तो टोटल कॉस्ट कैसे करेंगे? 2,800 यूनिट्स है, and then you just multiply by this cost per equivalent unit, you will get the answers. Closing inventory में भी आपने वही करना है. जो भी आपका closing inventory है, इसके हवाले से, इसके हवाले से, इसके हवाले से, you just need to multiply by the cost per equivalent unit, you will get your total cost. And then finally your process account. This is nothing new. ठीक है. तो आई होप यहाँ तक क्लियर है. वेटेड एवरेज भी क्लियर है. नाउ द मसला कहाँ है? मसला ये है कि विच मेथड शुड बी यूज्ड. रियल लाइफ में कौन सा मेथड यूज करें? तो जरा इसको रीड करें किंजा.
FIFO inventory valuation is more common than the weighted average method and should be used unless an indication is given to the contrary. You may find that you are presented with limited about the opening inventory, which forces either use FIFO or weighted average method. The rules are as follows.
This is very important. That how will you understand? The question is asking you to find out the value of closing work in progress through FIFO method or weighted average method. So this is how you will get the hint If you are told the degree of completion of each element in opening inventory, but not the value of each cost element, then you must use the FIFO method. If you are not given the degree, if you are not given the degree of completion of each cost element in opening inventory, but you are given the value of each cost element, then you must use the weighted average method. So it may happen in the exam that the examiner does not ask you directly that use FIFO or use weighted average. But from the given data, you have to understand that whether you have to calculate through FIFO or weighted average. And what will give you the hint? This will give you the hint, the degree of completion. If it is given in the opening inventory, then it means you need to use FIFO. If it is not given, that means you need to use 100% for opening inventory, and therefore you will go for weighted average.
How it is given? Can you please थोड़ा सा guide कर दें?
Okay, like this is a sum. The sum is right here. Okay. See, check this out, try this out. Try this sum. Over here, what is the requirement asking you? How many equivalent units of closing work in progress were there in the month? Are they mentioning use the FIFO? Are they mentioning use the weighted average? How are you going to
No.
how are you going to make a guess? Then over here, they are saying what is the total value of fully completed output, which would show in the process account. What are you going to use?
I think fully लिखा है तो इसमें शायद weighted average हो.
ये तो अब आप सम करोगे, डेटा पढ़ोगे जब तक तब तक तभी पता चलेगा. Now the data is saying during August a factory completed 20,000 units. ठीक है, opening inventory. At the start of the month there was no partly finished units, but at the end of the month there were 2,000. अच्छा, तो यहाँ पे कह रहे हैं कि opening inventory है ही नहीं. This is the input. This is the input. Okay. But there is no inventory, no opening inventory, only closing inventory. जब ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री ही नहीं है तब तो कोई खेल ही नहीं है ना इसमें. फीफो का भी खेल नहीं है, वेटेड एवरेज का भी खेल नहीं. ठीक है, क्योंकि हमने फीफो और वेटेड एवरेज किसके लिए सीखा है? ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री के लिए सीखा है. ठीक है, तो दिस इज अ सिंपल प्रोसेस अकाउंट सम. ट्राई दिस आउट.
Okay. एक का आंसर 800, 300. I'm a bit confused in B. Equivalent units तो निकल गए हैं, cost भी आ गई है. After that,
Okay. Okay. Now over here, you need to just do a bit of brainstorm. Cost किसके लिए बना है किंजा?
month
ये cost किसकी given है? C.
समझी नहीं मैं.
Okay. देखो यहाँ पे हमसे क्या पूछ रहा है, व्हाट इज द टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ फुल्ली कंप्लीटेड आउटपुट. तो फुल्ली कंप्लीटेड आउटपुट हम कैसे फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं किंजा? हमने फॉर्मूला ऊपर में 2 सीखे ना कि हाउ टू फाइंड आउट द कंप्लीटेड आउटपुट. सो व्हिच फॉर्मूला कैन बी अप्लाइड ओवर हियर?
हम यूनिट्स में से माइनस करेंगे जो फिनिश्ड वाले मंथ के यूनिट्स थे, यानी 20,000 यूनिट्स माइनस 2,000, 18,000 आ रहे हैं फिनिश्ड आउटपुट.
वेरी गुड. तो फिनिश्ड आउटपुट इज 18,000. तो यानी हमसे जो सवाल है वो एक्चुअली वैल्यू किस यूनिट की पूछ रहे हैं? 18,000 यूनिट्स की पूछ रहे हैं. ठीक है. और हमारे पास जो ये कॉस्ट आई हुई है, ये किसकी वैल्यू है? ये किसका खर्चा गिवन है? ये 18,000 यूनिट्स का खर्चा गिवन है प्लस 2,000 यूनिट्स की तो सिर्फ 40% कंप्लीशन हुई है. तो यानी ये जो खर्चा है इसमें 40% ऑफ 2,000 यूनिट्स कंप्लीट का खर्चा होगा. यस और नो?
यस.
So 40% of 2,000 is how much? You just found out 800 units. Yes?
हाँ हाँ.
तो ये टोटल क्या बन रहा है? 18,800. ठीक है. तो 18,800 यूनिट्स का जो खर्चा है वो 3,722,400 है. तो 1 यूनिट का कितना खर्चा होगा?
198 आ रहा है.
198 आ रहा है. तो अब ये जो 198
आगे नहीं आ रहा
आ रहा है हमें फाइंड आउट करना है 18,000 का. सो व्हाई डोंट यू मल्टीप्लाई 198 बाय 18,000? यू विल गेट द आंसर ऑफ दिस.
Just repeat the last one. I didn't get it.
ओके. 1 यूनिट का क्या खर्चा आ रहा है? $198. यस.
हाँ.
और हमसे सवाल क्या पूछ रहा है? वैल्यू निकालो फुल्ली कंप्लीटेड आउटपुट की. तो जब 1 यूनिट 98 है और हमें फुल्ली कंप्लीटेड आउटपुट पता है कि 18,000 है, तो 18,000 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 198 यू विल गेट योर.
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
ठीक है जी. तो आपका आंसर ये आना चाहिए 3564,000 बी.
ओके.
ठीक है. मजेदार है, इंटरेस्टिंग है.
ये सब समझ आया तो अब इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है.
राइट. ठीक है जी. तो यहाँ हमारा चैप्टर कंप्लीट होता है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, अल्लाह के करम से. और आज मैं आपको और बर्डन नहीं डाल रही. हम अगला चैप्टर कल नेक्स्ट क्लास में करेंगे ताकि आप यहाँ तक आराम से इसको करो, सॉल्व करो ओवर द वीकेंड, एक एक सम को अच्छे, ताकि कोई कंफ्यूजन ना रहे. ठीक है. क्योंकि प्रोसेस
ठीक है.
though it is a difficult topic to understand, but it is very scoring topic for the exam if you have understood it. It's very scoring. ठीक है. भी है और स्कोरिंग भी. अब ये कितना आसान सा सवाल था.
तो क्वेश्चंस कितने आते हैं एक्सपेक्टेड इसके इस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड?
As I told you that part C is the core area of F2. ठीक है. एंड पार्ट सी से मतलब 50 to 60% टेस्टिंग होती ही होती है, जिसमें मेन टॉपिक्स जो हमारे होते हैं एब्जॉर्प्शन कॉस्टिंग, मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग एंड प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग. यही 2 मेन टॉपिक्स होते हैं हमारे F2 के लेवल पे. क्योंकि ऑलरेडी MA1 और MA2 के लेवल पे ये ऊपर के सवालात ऑलरेडी बहुत सारे गिवन होते हैं. तो F2 के लेवल पे नाउ द एग्जामिनर इज मोर लाइकली टू टेस्ट अपॉन एब्जॉर्प्शन, मार्जिनल, प्रोसेस कॉस्टिंग from part C, but you cannot say it for sure because आपको पता है कि ACCA has put a lot of questionnaire in the bank. They have a big question bank एंड वो क्वेश्चन शफल होके आता है कंप्यूटर के साथ, सो यू नेवर नो कि कहाँ से कौन सा क्वेश्चन आ रहा है. बट
सही बात है.
F2 is all about cost accounting. So part C major testing होती है. And फिर next जैसे अगर मैं prioritize करूँ, so I would prioritize to study this section first, this section second, मतलब exam point of view से this section third, this section fourth, and फिर उसके बाद ये fifth, and this the last sixth. ठीक है. तो मैं अपने अगर स्टडी प्लान में मैं इस तरह से अपने एग्जाम में जो इम्पोर्टेंस वाइज अगर मैं कहूँ तो इस तरह इम्पोर्टेंस वाइज है, मगर यू कैन नॉट से, यू कैन नॉट प्रिडिक्ट. ठीक है. तो वी हैव टू बी 100%, हमें पूरा अपना 200% लगा के प्रैक्टिस करके जाना है, ताकि एग्जाम में तब जाके, बिकॉज एग्जाम में आप नो मैटर आप जितनी भी बीपीपी की किट कर लो, जितना भी कैपलान की किट चार्ट लो, एग्जाम में कोई नया क्वेश्चन नहीं होगा. मगर अगर आपका कॉन्सेप्ट सॉलिड है, if you are strong on your concept, if you are strong on your principles, कि आपको ये बात अच्छे से मालूम है कि वेटेड एवरेज में ओपनिंग इन्वेंट्री 100% ली जाती है, तो फिर 100% ली जाती है, फिर आपको जो भी सवाल आ जाए आप इसमें गड़बड़ नहीं करोगे. ठीक है. अगर आपको वो दो फॉर्मूलाज पता है कि फुल्ली कंप्लीटेड यूनिट्स जो हैं वो कैसे फाइंड आउट करते हैं, तो फिर वो आपको पता है, फिर वो जो भी सवाल आ जाए आप उसमें रॉन्ग नहीं होगे. योर फॉर्मूला इज राइट, योर कॉन्सेप्ट इज राइट. सो जस्ट ये जो हमारी प्रैक्टिस है, ये जो हम जितने भी, मैं बोलती हूँ कि आप एग्जाम्पल सम्स घर में दोबारा जो क्लास में किए वो प्रैक्टिस करो घर पे. पीपीपी की किट कम से कम मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बोलती हूँ 3 टाइम्स आपने लाजमी करनी है. इट्स अ मस्ट. मस्ट मतलब समझ रहे हो, 3 दफा से कम में गुजारा नहीं है, 3 दफा कंप्लीट करनी है. तो वो इसीलिए कंप्लीट करनी है कि ये कॉन्सेप्ट पक्के होते जाए, ये कॉन्सेप्ट याद रहे, ये कॉन्सेप्ट आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाए. सम का सवाल वो ऑप्शन ना बैठे, कॉन्सेप्ट बैठे कि भाई ये किस कॉन्सेप्ट से हुआ है, या इसका फॉर्मूला क्या है, या अच्छा ये ऐसा सवाल आएगा तो मुझे ऐसे करना है, ऐसा सवाल आएगा तो मतलब एग्जामिनर क्या पूछ रहा है. तो 3 टाइम्स इज अ मस्ट, 4 टाइम्स इज रिकमेंडेड. ठीक है. 4 टाइम्स इज रिकमेंडेड एंड 3 टाइम्स तो मस्ट है, मतलब मस्ट मतलब आप छोड़ के जा ही नहीं सकते. ठीक हो गया.
सही सही.
एंड F2 इज अ लेंदी पेपर, सो तसल्ली से इसको पढ़ो, तसल्ली से प्रैक्टिस करो, खूब प्रैक्टिस करो, ताकि फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में निकालो.
व्हाट इफ, क्योंकि मुझे अभी MA2 भी देना है ना, तो मैंने F2 से लिया था, कहता है कि दोनों की प्रिपरेशंस हो जाएं. सो MA2 का थोड़ा सा आप मुझे गाइड कर सकते हैं, सो कैन आई स्टार्ट स्टडीइंग इट एज वेल.
I have a current batch going on site कि उनको मैंने अभी MA1 पढ़ाया था एंड MA1 में they scored like 80+. ठीक है. दोनों बच्चों ने. अब उनको मैंने इस तरह बोला कि आप F2 पढ़ो. ठीक है. F2 पढ़ो, आपके MA2 की भी तैयारी हो जाएगी. ठीक है. मगर अभी मैंने उनको बिल्कुल भी नहीं बोला कि तुम MA2 की बुक खोलो या MA2 का रिविजन किट करो. नो, this is not the time. This is time to focus on F2, completely focus on F2. Don't get distracted, don't get diverted. Yes, with the preparation of F2, you are also getting prepared for MA2 side by side. But right now, just focus on F2. Don't mix up. First, you will give your exam for F2. Then within 15 days, you will sit for MA2. If you clear for F2. Okay, inshallah you will. But for that, you need थरो स्टडी. ओके. तो राइट नाउ मैंने अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी यही गाइड किया है कि MA2 पे अभी ध्यान भी मत दो, सोचो भी नहीं उसके बारे में. अभी सिर्फ हम F2 पढ़ रहे हैं, F2 पे ध्यान दो, F2 की तैयारी करो, सॉलिड बेस और F2 निकालो. ठीक है. जब F2 निकाल लोगे फिर मैं MA2 की कहानी खोल के बताऊंगी क्या है. ठीक है. जिसमें हमारा कम एफर्ट लगेगा, क्योंकि आप ऑलरेडी 100% एफर्ट F2 में कर चुके हो. सही है. So that is the strategy, and don't get confused and mixed up with MA2. Don't even bother to open it right now. Just focus over here. F2 is a huge world itself in itself. ठीक है. अच्छा जी, कोई और सवाल? So we are done with this. Alhamdulillah. We are left with 3 more chapters. So inshallah, in the next class will be on Monday, right? I just wanted to keep an extra class tomorrow, but there are few more students in this batch who have joined us late, and so because of them I'm not taking this extra class from this week, but I'll surely be keeping the extra class from next week, because my intention is to means I will just try my best to complete before Eid. Okay, so that's what
Okay.
I'm planning upon. एंड आप लोग अगर इसकी तैयारी करते जाओगे तो बहुत अच्छा है, ताकि आप लोग का एक तरह से फर्स्ट रिवीजन किट मेरे साथ साथ ही हो जाएगा। जैसे हम लेक्चर्स कर रहे हैं तो साथ साथ ही आप चैप्टर्स के किट भी कर रहे हो, तो फर्स्ट किट विल बी डन, एंड देन एज सून एज द कोर्स विल एंड, देन आई विल गाइड यू अकॉर्डिंगली कि आप क्या करना है और कितना टाइम देना है।
ठीक है।
ठीक है, चलें जी, ओके, अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखें। इंशाल्लाह सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास, टिल देन टेक केयर।
Allah Hafiz, take care.